Why, hello everyone, and welcome back to another chainmail tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this beautiful little stainless steel coin purse. I made this for myself a little while back, and I had a ton of interest of people wanting to know how to make one or to buy one or whatever it is. So I am actually working in partnership with the Ring Lord to provide a kit that will have all the supplies that you need to make a little purse of your own. All of the rings for this purse are stainless steel. The clasp is made out of iron. It's about 4 inches wide and does come with an interchangeable short strap if you want to wear it to the Renaissance Fair on your belt, and a long crossbody strap if you want to wear it out to the bar or wherever else. This is comprised of over 1,300 stainless steel rings, and the size for these rings is an 18 gauge 1/4 inch ring. Short strap that you could put on your belt measures about 10 inches long, and the long crossbody strap will be about 49 inches long, which is a pretty standard length for a crossbody strap. If you think that it might be too short for you, you can always purchase additional stainless steel rings from theringlord.com and add a little bit of length to your strap if you need. So this is a pretty small little coin purse. I do want to reiterate, it is not big enough to hold like a phone or anything, but it is the perfect size for if you're going out, you want to just put your cards in, for a little bit of cash, a little chapstick, some coins, whatever you need. It's a nice, it's got some width at the bottom to hold quite a little bit in there, but it is not big enough for a phone. So just keep that in mind if you're wanting this for like your all-around everyday bag. It is really just a little coin purse, so make sure to keep that in mind. As a celebration of the launch of this purse kit, we will have a special code for you to use. You can use the code PURSE in all caps, and that will get you 10% off of your own purse kit. And please, if you get one and you make it, I would love for you to tag me on Instagram, tag the Ring Lord as well. We would love to see your little purses that you make. Without further ado, I will get into showing you how to make this, and let's get rocking. To start, this is what the purse frame looks like when it's all by itself. You can see they've got all these little holes in them, which is how we will be attaching our rings to it. Upon the release of the purse kit, there will be 3 different styles available. So this is what the stainless steel purse looks like. This option will be a little bit more expensive because steel is just more expensive to manufacture. So this is the most expensive option, and it is the most difficult to work with. So these are just some options to ponder while you're making your decision. So that's what the steel looks like. I was hoping to have finished ones of all of these done to show you, but I do have the rings. The other option that will be available are these copper aluminum rings. So you can see that this one will have like a bit of a contrast moment. It'll still have the silver colored frame, but you can get them in these copper aluminum. These ones are in like the $50 range, so quite a bit less expensive. I think this one is more in like the $150 range. So you can get the bronze colored aluminum. And also, if you're still wanting this sort of like silver chainmail look, we are going to be offering it in this silver aluminum. So silver aluminum is much lighter, much easier to work with. You can sort of see the difference. This is a little bit brighter, like more of a bright silver as opposed to the steel. But again, this will be more in like the $50 range for the kit. So that is completely up to you to decide, given your price range and difficulty of the material. Also note that this raw uncoated aluminum does leave a little bit of a residue on your skin and any items that might go in the purse. It can be cleaned off, but it's just something to make a note of when you're deciding between the two. Anyone who is new here knows that I am a big fan of doing my ring prep work beforehand. I think that just makes the whole process go a lot more smoothly. If you're new here, I would definitely recommend that you go and watch my European 4-in-1 tutorial and just like getting to know the basics of starting chainmail. The European 4-in-1 is what we will be using for this entire purse, so definitely important to know how to do that. Just as a quick recap, rings right from the Ring Lord come a little bit open and a little bit offset. So when I do my prep work, I'm gonna do half of my rings open like this, and the other half I'm going to close like this. So you have a nice flush finish on your closed rings. Go ahead and get all of your prep work knocked out of the way. I have already done all of mine, so I have, all of my rings open, and then I have the other half closed because you're gonna need about half and half to do this entire project. Continuing that prep work, once you have half open and half closed, you are going to make a lot of 4-in-1s. So that's going to be the next step of your prep work. So make sure to do that now. To get started with the base of the purse, you're going to end up making a 14 by 5 4-in-1s square. What I mean by that, so like one 4-in-1, we're going to call this a unit. So this is 14 units across and 5 units down. This will be the direction that it's hanging, sort of this long direction. On your purse frame, there are 28 holes. So when you make your top row 14 4-in-1s across, you end up with 28 rings along the top, and that is what will eventually go into the holes of the frame. So this is just one side I already have completed, but I will show you what that looks like start to finish. Here I have 14 individual 4-in-1 units, and I'm going to start by making these into a long little row. So just building them down in this direction. This is just the direction that I find it easiest to work with. And you're just gonna start connecting all of these. So make sure you have a nice bundle of open rings that you can be working from. If you have watched my European 4-in-1 tutorial, you will know this is just sort of how you make European 4-in-1 weave chainmail. So I'm just gonna start connecting these using that weave. And I will warn you that since these are steel, it is a little bit harder to work with than aluminum. It's a little bit harder on your hands. I'm gonna connect all of these in a row here. I'm gonna do that all the way down till I have all of my 14 4-in-1s connected. Now I have my one long strip that is 14 4-in-1s long. And I'm going to do that 4 more times. I have already done it. I'm so prepared. Just make sure you get these all in the same direction. And you're gonna start connecting your little chainmail snakes. This is how they will all be laid out. And I'm going to start connecting these so that I have one big sheet of chainmail. Okay, we have this all stitched up. Again, please take your time, very hard on your hands. I did probably 6 hours of prep work yesterday to get all of my rings open and closed and make this side. And just doing this piece today, my hands hurt. So take your time with it. No rush to have your little purse. So this side, and now I've got these 2 panels that will be the 2 sides of our purse. It is going to be important once you start attaching that when you flip over to do the other side, that all of your rings are still running in the same direction, if that makes sense. So I will just get started here and, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Like I said, there are 28 holes in both sides of this frame. So we're going to take our 28 rings that are along the top here and just start opening and closing them all through. It is going to be important that once you start looping your rings through, that you're putting everything through the same way. Otherwise, you're going to get some twisting with the rings that are like going into the frame. So like, for example, I just opened this one here and I'm going to go through the back of all of these holes, close it up like that. So then when I get to my next ring in the line, I'm going to open it up the same direction and I'm going to go through the back again, like that. I'm on the 3rd ring on the top of my row, coming up through the back of this hole. It's a pretty tight fit, so take your time. There you go. Close it up. And you're just gonna continue that. And it's a perfect match, so if you, for whatever reason, run into a problem where you have too many holes or too many rings, you might have missed one. So just take your time on this part. I'm gonna do that all the way across. We officially have one side done. This is what that looks like. Sort of goofy looking. We're moving on to, we're going to attach the other side now. I was saying, like, you really want to pay attention to the direction that your rings are going in. because that will affect the way that you attach the other side. So you can, it's harder to tell on this one, but here's my finished one. You can see how like all the rings on this top row that are connected are sort of all facing this direction. And when I flip it over, they're all still facing this direction. Because it's a continuous loop, it just means that all of the rings are going like in one continuous direction. So I wouldn't want to have, so on this one, they're all sort of facing this way. So I need to continue that, because if I had them facing opposite directions, they wouldn't be able to connect on the sides. Because you want it to be a continuous loop, it has to be all going the same direction. So like when I connect these, this is how they'd connect. So when I flip this over, I'm gonna start connecting them this direction and, this direction, and making sure that we're doing like the same going from the underside, and that should put it in the exact same direction as the other side. All right, we now have both sides attached, and we've got everything running in the same direction on both sides. So now seaming up the sides should be pretty seamless, if I may. There's something so satisfying about it when it's in this stage, like not connected yet. I don't know, I really like it. Okay, you can sort of lay it sideways like this. We're gonna start just getting these sides connected. I am actually going to recommend skipping this first one, only because when we start doing the bottom, it's important to know where the sides would have been, and it's hard to find like once it's all closed. So I'm just gonna skip what would be this first connection here, and I'm just gonna go in one. That will get like closed eventually, but it will help in a few minutes. So I'm just gonna keep doing my 4-in-1 pattern, going up the sides. You can already see like how that just becomes a continuous loop on the sides. I could not film it, but that's as high up as I could get. So a little bit of a gap there, but no big deal. And we are just going to go ahead and do that on the other side. So I'll be back when that's done. Officially on the home stretch, we've got both of our sides all closed up, looking lovely. So we're definitely at the trickiest part now, which is seaming up the bottom. Sort of the trade-off of having the continuous loop going around the side, but that does mean now when we're closing the bottom, we no longer have rings that are going in the same direction. So closing it up is a little odd. So here's again my finished one, and you can see it's sort of like, I don't know if you can really see it, but it sort of is a little bit raised. This is the seam line that is underneath. Just the only way to connect these two different directions. So I will do my best to show you how to do that. We know this is our side seam because I left this little gap here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close this up now, but I'm also going to mark that center point with a thread or something. This is just helpful for me so that I know when I start seaming the two sides together exactly what is my center middle point. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, I know this is so weird, but this is my ring that I'm putting in to connect the two sides, and I've just marked it with a little bit of string so that I know that it's the middle. With this middle point established, I'm going to take an open ring, and I'm going to go to the two to the right of it, and I'm going to be going to the two to the left of it, and I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to go the same direction through these two rings. And I'm just gonna keep going and go through all 4 of those rings in the same direction. And it's gonna look like a little bit of a garbled mess, so just keep it as together as you can. So we're gonna take another ring, and now I'm starting one more over, but I'm also going to be going through this farthest outside one this is the ring that we started with. So I'm gonna go in through this one, in through this one, and then I'm going to go over the top of everything, and I'm going to go in that way through, this would have been the last ring that we went through on the last pass, and picking up one more ring on the outside. This is so weird. I am so sorry. It's very hard to explain. Still looking a bit of a mess. Stick with me. So this is our connector ring that we just put in. And now we're going to be working with these two next to it and these two to the left of it. I'm picking one up from the outside over here, going under into one that already has a ring through it, going over the top of everything, and now going in through that ring and picking up a new one. Now you can see it's starting to pucker because this seam is going to go all the way underneath. I'm going to do one more, even closer. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. This is the ring that we just put in, so this is the connector one. And we're going to go through this one that already has the last connector in it, this one that has the last connector in it, and then we're going to pick up this ring here. Going underneath that one, crossing over that last connector ring, going down through that one, and picking up the next. Close that up. Giving you sort of a different angle here, but this is now, with it standing up, you can see it's starting to make the corner of the purse here. So I'm gonna prop it. I lost my string, but it doesn't matter because we have that piece closed anyway. Where we left off, this is our last connector ring that we just put in. Picking up an open ring, and I'm going on the outer edge. The last one we went through, over the top, and picking up that one and that one. I am so aware of how complicated this part is, so I really want to give as many chances as I can for you to be able to see what's going on here. Our last connector is right here, and you can see how all of these connector rings are sort of pointing away from me, facing away from me. The outermost one that we're picking up new for this one, going up and under through one that already has a connector in it, over the top, down through that one, and picking up a new one. It looks like a mess, but I promise it's not. Like, once it's all done, it lays nicely. Oh, and while we're here, I guess you can come over here. You really just need one side when you're doing these side seams and like leaving one open. You really only need that on one side just so that you have a starting point. So I'm actually going to go ahead and close this. There we go. Okay, coming back underneath. Please ignore my blood blister from the Ren Fair. There's our last connector. Now the next one that we're picking up through, going underneath that one. You sort of twist and pivot, go through one that already has a connector, and then picking up a new one. Here's our next available. So underside of that one, twisting and turning to go down through that one and underneath that new one. Unconventional 4-in-1 connection. I'll do it one more time and then I'll finish this seam up. Up, up, down, down. There we go. And you are just gonna keep doing that. You can see the bottom of our bag coming together. Here it is from the top down view. So we're getting that corner is what we're working on. And we are going to continue that all the way to the edge, and it should, you know, if you've started in your center point, it should just come together evenly, and there's no different way to like end it. You just keep doing that stitch. With that, we have the whole body of the purse done. Oh, it's so satisfying when it's all put together. Hopefully you were able to follow along and complete that bottom seam. I know it's a little tricky, but hopefully I did it enough times that you can go back and rewatch it until you get the hang of it. Now with that done, we are going to move along to the straps of our purse. For the straps, I chose to go for like a it would be like a European 4-in-2. So, but that's essentially just two rings interlocked in between two rings continuously. So the way I think I've found the easiest way to do that is if you've already made a bunch of 4-in-1s, so I have a normal 4-in-1 right there, and I will just take an open ring and take that 4-in-1 and just add one to the center like that. And then you've got a 4-in-2. And you just make a bunch of those and connect them with 2. And I've already got a little bit of a chain started here. This is probably long enough to be the short one. Like I said, there should be enough rings in your kit to make a 10-inch strap for around a belt loop for the Renaissance Fair, and a 49-inch strap for like a crossbody bag. Feel free to make those as long or short as you want. If you have no use for the short strap, don't even bother. You can just add that length to your crossbody. That's all up for your figuring out. Your kit will come with some clasps that you can use to interchange your straps if you'd like. For mine, when I made mine, I use these like lobster claw clasps, but for your Ring Lord kit, you will get something like this that you can just open up and interchange your straps. Something that's really important, I think, to mention for the straps on this bag, the clasp that this comes with, there are technically like strap anchor points on the very outer edges of this purse clasp. But because of the way, I don't know if it's just the weight of the chainmail, but when I attach to these like designated points, it made the purse sort of hang like this instead of straight up and down. And I did not think that was as cute. So I think it's really just like about the balancing point. And these are pre-made clasps. These aren't custom for these purses. You know, that is maybe something that we could look into at some point. But for the time being, these are the clasps that we have. So I just sort of brought in my anchor points a little bit closer to the center. And that really helps to make sure that the bag stands up straight. When it's hanging from you or hanging from your belt, because I really didn't like that look of it hanging like this. So you can play around with what works for you. If you don't mind that it sags a little bit, you can certainly attach them to the pre-designated little slots. But yeah, this is sort of the sweet spot I found, which is like 4 or 5 away from the center point, and having them on opposite sides. That way you still have full access to open it. And then it hangs nicely. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I'm super excited to be making this video and having this partnership with the Ring Lord and them offering these kits. I had a lot of people that were super excited about this purse, and now I hope this tutorial can help you make your own. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other ideas for kits that you would like to see me make with the Ring Lord, please let me know in the comments. And other than that, thank you for watching. Bye!